recap this time, since just this time, since we kind of all started getting going and a whole ton of stuff happened last time. And I'll just kind of distill it down. The basics are that you all had been working for a dwarf in the kingdom of Perenval, this big Magitech kingdom. And you were framed for some crimes, and so was she. And basically, she's the only one that knows how to make the city work, which is the only way to keep the city defended. And you were launched into a portal to try to find out what the fate of her people are, so that hopefully there would be more dwarves. And so you went through this portal and came out this other side to this other land, and there was this giant sword sticking out of the ground, and a little hobbit person that helped you escape hordes of goblins. And you journeyed for 7 days across rivers, streams, and fields at the foot of some large mountain range until you came into a forest. And then inside of the forest are these great big walls, and behind the walls is a hobbit shire. And apparently there's one human-sized house in the shire, covered in stained glass windows. It sort of looks like a chapel. Everything has otherwise been taken out of it. And your hobbit friend Nob Boulderhill basically secreted you into the Shire of Brandonsford to this place, and is concerned that the something he called a matron would maybe interfere or find you and bid you a good night. And nighttime has passed, and now the sun has risen in Brandonsford, and you hear voices approaching from the outside.
So to the other rest, so did I pick up that they're not used to, or they may have issues with tallish people? Is that to be expected, maybe?
Seem to recall that.
I guess we'll find out.
Changing it to battle music? What is he doing?
Yeah, you hear a shrill woman's voice and the voice of Nob Boulderhill that you recognize, trying to persuade her of something.
He's in trouble. Gonna try to hear what they're saying.
This wakes you all up.
Yeah, I was saying, go listen at the door and try and make it out.
Just everybody's at the windows.
Yeah. Like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, we're gonna stack them up.
Cups.
Let's see if she just opens the door then.
Then we fall out Three Stooges style.
They don't make it to the door, and Nob stops her for a moment, and he's like, listen, they needed my help. You know what's going on outside those walls? And she's like, yes, indeed, I do, Nob Boulderhill, and that's exactly why we don't just tarry about inviting everyone out from in there inside of these walls. That's what walls are for. And he's like, yes, I know that, but they're not from around here. They're not from the southern lands. They're not from Griffsvale or any of the big people towns. They came from really far away, and I think they might be able to help us. And she's like, I don't see any matter of helping here, except that you're supposed to be about helping William. You're his apprentice, are you not? What are you even doing out across the fields? You could have gotten hurt. And then they just keep fussing back and forth like that outside the door.
Shall we intervene on the poor boy's behalf?
And what? Cause more trouble?
Well, we're here.
I don't really want to hang out in this chapel all day until they go away. I don't think that's going to work, so we might as well, right?
Yeah.
Make a grand entrance.
Cause a big hullabaloo.
Oh, I need to get these rankings down. I need that because it's going to happen at Hullabaloo. Hullabaloo.
That's really bad.
That's really bad. You've got a Hoopla and a, what was the first one? I can look it up, but I didn't want to.
I've got it. Got it in my notes. Hoopla, hullabaloo. Oh. Let's see. I can't find it.
Yeah, I can't remember what the first one is. Anyways,
Did we get experience after last session, or?
Yeah, I posted it in the campaign session results chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you open the door, and this old chapel door opens, kind of pushing back layers of vine with it that just hang off the top of the door. Vines hanging off either top of this large stone building, and you look out, and you almost feel like giant big people, because like there are these little people that are less than half your size that are out some 10 or 15 feet away that are fussing with each other. And then like the Shire is pretty large, mostly on a flat plain, also at the foot of these large mountains behind you. And the sun is coming in to your right front. Yeah, but all around you are buildings that probably come up to your chin at the most. Some of them quite smaller. And the Shire is alive with people carrying produce around, and they're setting up stalls. It looks like an event is about to happen. And Nob and this woman turn around to see you, and Nob has this grimace of this awkward grimace on his face.
Greetings.
And who are you? The woman says, and she has an immaculate, dainty dress with apron on, with big poofy shoulders. She looks kind of middle-aged. Curly hair.
Well, according to Nob, we are the, what was it? Sent by Brandon himself.
The heirs of Brandon.
When you say that, she just like turns and glares at him like with actually their mouth open, and then Nob's like, no, like that, and she's like, well, heirs of Brandon or heirs of anyone else, you can't just come here and squat in our Shire.
Well, our intention is not to squat, but to help you with, well, something.
So it's a very nice, good thing we were invited in, since we're not squatting.
It is local custom that and she just ignores you, and she's saying this actually to Nob, that they cannot stay in this building unless they are contributing to the local economy. And here during the fall festival, even.
Oh, what needs?
Well, it does contribute to the economy. Yeah.
What needs doing?
Yeah, and at that, Nob's like, I'll talk to them. It's okay. We'll set this all right, and I'll be back to see William right away. I'm sure he'll understand. And she's like, she turns to you all again. She's like, she says, my name is Rortrude, and I am one of the ladies of the Matronly Order of Good Manners, and you would know me if you were from here, but I should expect, and she turns back again to Nob, and she says, and I think I will be speaking to William also. And she like stomps off. And then Nob
clearly like, impeccable manners, I say to her back.
And there are a bunch of the people here are like, while they're working just outside of this big house, they're kind of like looking at you and whispering among each other and pointing at you and stuff. And Nob's like, I'm really sorry about Rotrude. But what she said's true. We don't usually let visitors inside.
Well, seems like a very wise precaution, considering the danger of the lands about.
I agree. I think there's only there's a couple of things, and she's not wrong. Also, it's true that anybody that comes by is expected to be properly certified and registered at the town hall and have their papers in order. And I don't suppose you have anything like that. So you could go and speak to the town reeve, and he might be able to make you something more official so that you could stay here. Alternately, if you want a less official route, you'll need to officially introduce yourself as newcomers.
Sounds better than paperwork.
Oh,
City speak.
you'd be surprised. Have you ever been to a shire before?
Shaw looks at everybody else, just shakes his head.
Talon seems kind of apprehensive to answer this question, but just kind of looks around.
Can't say that I have.
No.
Well, you don't simply just walk into a shire. You have to get everyone's attention. You have to. Everyone's curious. Everyone wants to. You've got to put on a hoopla.
Getting everybody's attention is definitely
what?
something we could do.
A hoopla. You need to put on a party and have everyone over as a guest.
Oh,
To go to the
Okay.
and
that's entirely doable.
That will contribute to the economy.
Party?
Yes.
I mean, so I guess, do you have any, say, beverages or an establishment that might be conducive to such a place, such as activities?
Well, for an outsider, the only place that's going to work with you is the Golden Egg, but well, there's a reason for that. But if you want to work with old Bentley at the Clumsy Fox, where everyone really hangs out, you're going to need to participate in the fall festival too and compete.
Competition.
Yes, you don't just come around here and not present any harvest goods or trade goods or put on a show. Don't sing, no performances. I mean, surely you don't do that. You don't just walk into a human city, do you?
Yes.
Typically, you sneak in and sneak out and try not to gather attention, but
Well, that sounds terribly
customs vary.
drab.
Do raids count?
What did you say?
Nothing. Never mind.
I said that in character. He's like, and he says, "Well, that sounds terribly drab. Yes, in a shire, you need to, capture everyone's attention and put on a good show. You could, unless you're a band and everyone could sing and perform and outperform the local show, or the best thing is if the fall festival's not doing very well with what's happening outside the walls. The next event is the mushroom meet."
Bishaw kind of turns and looks at everybody else and says, I think we might be better suited to deal with what's happening outside. You're not great at singing or polite revelry.
I can revel. I revel just fine.
Polite revelry.
There's a difference?
Is it really revelry if it's polite?
I think that's when you wake up the next day feeling slightly uncomfortable and not 1 week later poor.
Slightly. What revelry is that?
I'm
Polite.
willing to give it a shot.
Well, I can tell you, you could still meet with the Reeve. He could, if you had a reason to be here, some sort of proposal for him, then he might be able to certify you and maybe... I know. If you could see the Reeve and give him a reason, he could give you a bounder sash. It would, you could be hired as outsiders from the Reeve. I'm not sure. That's all up to him. But you're going to need to earn your keep here in the Shire.
Well,
You seem to have an idea for what you brought us here for. What did you have in mind when you thought it was a good idea to drag us here? Much, not that I'm complaining, much appreciated. But...
Oh, yeah. No, a dragon is going to destroy this place.
How soon is that going to happen?
I think it could happen anytime.
And you didn't think this information important while we were riding in carts full of potatoes?
That genuinely surprised me.
Well, there's a lot going on. There's the fall festival and the mushroom meat and, there's the
dragon that's
goblins.
going to destroy us all? Yes. I agree, Knob.
can you tell us more about why you think this is going to happen?
And then he's looking around, he's wringing his hands, and people are like pointing, and you can even hear the name Knob among the voices. He's like, listen, I think that we should either leave or we should go see the Reeve, but we shouldn't stay out in the open. Eventually people are going to start causing a fuss.
So we should see the Reeve.
Yeah.
Now, a fuss, is that better or worse than a, what'd you call it?
He starts tromping his big giant hairy feet
A hullabaloo?
toward the street, and he's like, oh, a fuss can be a lot of things, actually. And then he starts to break it down. And a fuss can, in fact, be a lot of things, according to Knob. A fuss could actually be like an intellectual conversation that's sort of nitpicky and a little bit passive-aggressive. Or a fuss could be a bit of a crowd rabble. So it could be a lot of different things. He names them all off as he walks down the street. You see a sign, by the way. I want to note this out. There is a wooden sign, and it has directions to the Clumsy Fox Tavern, the Golden Egg Tavern, Cedric's General Stuff, the Town Hall, Smithy, Hunter's Lodge, Matham House, Apothecary, and Farmer Gill Road. And it looks like you're walking toward the town hall.
Tell us more about this Reeve. What is a Reeve?
Oh, the Shire Reeve. His name's Eric. He's an old Matham curator, and once you ascend high enough in the order of the Matham House, eventually they make you the Reeve. So he's one of the older folks in town.
So he is... Talon's like struggling for the word. A mayor?
A mayor? I think humans have mayors. Their cities, you big people have such big cities. Yeah, I suppose it's like a mayor. And as you walk down the street, you can also see that there are a couple of people with feathered caps and sashes, and they stop you. And one of them is like, now, excuse me, there, Knob, but what's the meaning of this? Who are these people? No offense, lads. And they nod to you. And Knob's like, we're just on our way to see Eric. These folks, they're outside. They're big people, as you can see, and they've agreed to help the town with some matters. And this person with the sash is like, well, that's all fine and well, but you'll need some paperwork for that, and you'll need to be properly licensed to work with the Shire. And then and Nob, let's see here, he's like, yeah, that's where we're going. And then they look at each other and they're like, all right, well, be on that then. See you around, Nob. And they look at you all. They look up at you all, you know. All right. Are you following Nob or?
Yeah, following.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. What did you say something? What did you ask Tom? Did I answer that? Did Nobby?
Well, I asked where he got his info about the dragon.
Oh, okay, yeah, I missed that. Oh well, there's some people missing, and some problems in town. There are a few problems, in fact. A couple of hobbits from the local farm were sent out to fight the dragon. Someone's missing an arm. All the hunters are gone and dead, except one. And they're dwarven tradesmen that trade from the dwarven lands nearby, and they haven't come by lately, and that's given us a metal shortage. It's been a rough season, and there's goblins all in the woods.
And what does this have to do with the dragon?
Oh, right. Well, people have spotted it, in particular the huntsmen.
Who are all gone now, because presumably eaten by a dragon?
Well, all except for old George. He's still got one arm left.
Ooh. Huh. We'll probably want to talk to him eventually, but
I'm gonna talk to him.
yeah, I guess for first we have more paperwork. Everywhere we go, paperwork.
You make it to the town hall. It's one of the larger buildings in town. It has a like a little hobbit bell tower type thing and an outbuilding, but you still have to like really crouch down to get into the entrance. And some people are rushing around trying to. There's papers everywhere in the entrance, and then there's like a little step up into a small area which you wouldn't even fit in, where there is a portly man with mutton chops, and he looks very distressed. He's got dark purple rings around his eyes, and he's very visibly stressed out. And someone's trying to talk to him, another person with a feathered cap and a sash, and he's like staring out like away from him, with like a like silent and just like staring off into space.
You didn't have a C player and it's
Hello, sir.
What'd you say?
Hello, sir.
Oh, you get his attention. Okay. At that, he like startles like out of his reverie, and he looks over and he's like, "Big people, what? Nob, what are you doing here? What are these big people doing here?" And Nob's like, "Oh, I found some people that might help us around here, especially with the dwarves not coming by." And he's like, "Nob, now you know that people can't come in here if they're not properly certified and if they don't have their papers." And Nob's like, yes, yes, Mr. Eric, but you see," and then he's like, "Nob, head back to William at once, and then we'll speak about this later." And he's like, and he looks at you all, and he's like, "I'm really sorry, but I do need to head back to my master."
Take care.
So be it.
And then he takes off his hat and he bows to you because he thinks that's what humans do. And and then he slaps his giant hairy feet out the door. And the This
Thanks for the invite to Brandonsford on the way up.
and and he's like, now look. Then this guy tromps down. He's got big, hairy feet too. They're like white hair, and he's kind of portly, you know. And but he stomps down from that step, and he comes out into the common area of the town hall. And he looks up at you all, and he says, "What business have you here? Are you from Griff's Bluff, or are you from Rebek? Where do you hail from, big people?"
Well,
Distant lands? Oh, whoever.
yes, very distant lands.
In fact, we're from all of you. You wouldn't understand it if we tried to explain. It was so far away that, but you have the honor of being the first place in a long time we visited. And we're here to help.
Yeah, and he sees like Bashaw, and he sees Talon?
Mm-hmm.
Scratch that up. Yeah, Talon, and he's like, oh, wild people then. Fur traders, the roads, they've been disused for so long.
We are emissaries, sir.
Emissaries, on account of who?
Sorry.
Some of us are more wild than others. Some of us come from more, what you might call, well, not all of us are city folk, so to speak. But are we emissary? We come for...
Yes.
You know, for big folk, you give a lot of responses, but no answers. But listen.
No, we're emissaries of the gods.
Of the gods.
Taylor just kind of like gives you a look, like, what?
And
we came through a magical portal, appeared right near your friend, just in the nick of time. He had been waiting for us, and there we appeared. And here we are. We're just as much along for the ride as anyone.
He rubs his, like, dark circled eyes, and he says, "Oh, the big people and their gods and their magic. Well, listen,
yes.
Please, at least do me this favor, and don't be going about the Shire talking about the gods and such. The matronly order, they'll have my hide, and they'll throw me over the wall if you go on talking about the gods to everyone."
Well, it's difficult when people ask prying questions for which there are no answers.
Some people answer no answers with gods.
There's no answer as to where you came from?
Yeah, we came from another world through a magical portal.
Oh, you did say that. Very well.
I mean, like I came from a city that got eaten by a bunch of other gods, and then I ended up in another place that was completely different than that, and then I fell through another portal essentially, and now we're here. So
yeah, so
does that clarify everything?
We're actually from two different worlds, each of us.
Oh dear, this does sound like a great deal of big people hubbubaloo. I don't think I could sort through this.
Well, I can't either.
That's why you should just give us the papers, and we can just,
we would love to. We would love to help out. Absolutely, help out for your festival.
Well,
do what we can.
In fact, there are some things you could do, and I could try to pay you. You are, and he looks at you, and you can see that you have weapons, backpacks, canteens, water skins, and stuff. He says, "You might be able to help us with a couple of matters, actually. And that's the only way to have the proper papers to be about the Shire. Anyone in the Shire has to contribute to the local economy."
We would love nothing better. Yes, we would love nothing better.
Very well. Well, there are people that have gone missing. They say that there's some sort of beast in the woods. It's eating and killing people. Our hunting lodge, something killed them down to a man. And the last remaining hunter, he says it was a dragon. We have dwarven traders that stop by. They're our main source of business, but they haven't come back in weeks.
Beasts of myth and legend. You think this dragon is real?
I don't think it matters. I think something out in those woods is causing an awful amount of trouble, and why all the goblins are loose. And something has caused that. Wasn't that way a few weeks ago. Our hunters and woodsmen and loggers were able to go about the stream outside and make good use of it until then. I mean, the roads, they haven't seen use in a long time, and no one's come to collect the tax in decades, but we were doing well here with our dwarven friends trading with us. And something has brought an end to all that. If you ask me, it's that big woman, that big person, witch, that lives in the hut.
Oh my.
Yes.
A witch.
Yes, big people things, like witches and magic and gods. No offense.
I'm taking it. Hey, for me, anyway.
But
Well,
I imagine she's stirring up some trouble of some kind out there. I think that's probably what it is.
Have you met this witch?
No.
Has anyone?
A witch. Oh.
Has anyone in the village, in the Shire, met the witch?
Well? Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. No, I'm sure I wouldn't spread such dirty rumors around. I wouldn't accuse any of our good hobbits of consorting with witches.
Really, you would never do that. But if someone were to say that, who would they say did that?
What's your charisma modifier?
+1.
+1. All right. He says he thinks about it and he says, "Well, I hate to say it, but they say that Ingrid knows something of her and has talked with her."
And who is Ingrid?
Ingrid is the local apothecary. It just doesn't seem like a bad hobbit though. She's just a bit strange for a hobbit is all. I would say that if anything, she's just a bit Alduinish, if you know what I mean.
Apothecaries are strange folk.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't mean to slander the hobbit though. She's a good woman. I shouldn't have said anything. But anyways,
No.
if you can find the cause.
Someone else.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you could find the cause of this, I've been trying to train our bounders here to fight off the threats, to fight off the goblins, and the fall festival is about, and the mushroom competition is about to happen, and we haven't been able to find any fine mushrooms. Why, the largest mushroom this year is this big. And for you, that's probably that big.
So let's be clear. We help you with this. You give us these papers, and we're free to go about our business.
Yes. Yes, if you agree and you'll sign it to a contract to stay and work to find the cause of these troubles, to find the cause of the goblins and the missing people and figure out what happened, then I'll sign you on as deputy bounders, and you'll be able to be about the city. And well, I suppose you could
get hats. Sorry.
Oh, let me see here.
Was it the hats with the bounders? Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
As a feathered cap. Hartmut, and then this little tiny hobbit like scoots up like a chihuahua or something, like a little dog. He's like, "Yes, what can I get you?" And it's like, "Whoa, okay, Hartmut, first you need to slow down and stop scooting about so fast. Proper hobbit doesn't scoot." And he's like, "Yes, okay." And then second of all, we need hats. "Yes, okay." And he scoots and drags his feet off really fast. And he's like, "Oh, Hartmut does so much scooting."
Hobbits are awesome.
Should have been a hobbit.
Okay.
These hats aren't going to fit us, you know.
Yeah, they don't fit at all. They're like little tiny, like little hats with a feather in them.
Maybe we can pin them to our cloaks like brooches.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
They also give you sashes, and they're just like uncomfortably, just kind of like right under your armpit when you wear them. You know,
like a tiny scarf kind of thing.
A seatbelt that's a little too small. You're just
yeah.
Yeah, I like the scarf idea. The cravat.
Yeah,
and then cravat and
they have you signing a bunch of paperwork. You find that most of it is in triplicate and then verbose. So it sort of like speaks in this kind of like legalese. However, it's in common, interestingly. Yeah, but it takes you a long time. It's like 2 hours of paperwork.
This is tedious.
There's a man there with suspenders, another hobbit who seems to work there at the town hall, and he's come in early this morning, and he's also filling out paperwork happily, and he's been smiling the whole time. And when you say that, he looks over and he's like, he smiles and he's like, "Isn't it though?" And he smiles and he's like, joyfully going back to doing paperwork.
I've never encountered such... I don't even know what to call this. It's like hell.
It's like Britain. It's like home.
Not in the 15th century.
No, it's not. No, yeah.
Maybe in the Tudor era, but not the 15th century. Anyway.
You know, in my tribe, we sign things in blood.
Yes, but probably not this much blood.
No, that would kill somebody.
All right, so 2 hours pass. You've done a ton of paperwork and signed it. You've received one of the copies of the triplicate packs of paperwork to go along with your bark of writ from Counselor Mudbelt, if you were to put it in a safe, thing to carry documents in. Apparently documents are becoming really important in this campaign. And you have a sash, which you will have either put around you really tightly or you've worn as a scarf, and a tiny hat that you've pinned to your gear, and you're now Deputy Bounders. And
I feel ridiculous.
You in fact are right now.
I'm liking it. I'm like wearing it full around my neck like an infinity scarf, And
Eric the Shy Reeve, he says, "Well, best be about it. Daylight's fading. The festival's on us. And also a giant beast." And then, people look up and they're alarmed with the business that they brought into the town hall. And he's like, "I mean, just Maybell. I just mean Maybell, of course." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then they go back to whatever they're doing.
Very rude to refer to us as beasts just because we're so much bigger.
Well, let's go speak to Ingrid then, shall we?
Yeah, let's see what Ingrid has to say, and then maybe check out with that hunter who lost an arm after we have time.
Old George.
Okay. You followed the sign to go to the apothecary, to Ingrid?
Yep.
Okay. It's a little hobbit hovel. It's especially small, and you're basically all crowded in together, if you were to try to fit inside. The little hobbit door is it looks as if some much older door that doesn't fit this, that was for something else, was carried here and put. in it, and it's otherwise a daub, little above ground hovel like the other hobbit houses. And there are strange smells coming from inside, and you think that you see lights and a nervous muttering voice.
I'll rap on the door.
You hear like something like, and then like you hear like something fall to the ground and make a noise, and then like a oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, and then like some more shuffling, and then like and then like a silence for like a good 10 seconds, and then somebody like the door just slowly opens, and then this like little sheepish hobbit woman in like a more ratty gown is like, oh dear, outside merchants. We haven't had your kind here in a very long time. Forgive me, my manners. I'm Ingrid. Are you unwell? Do you need medicine?
No, we just wish to have a word.
Oh. And then she sees she sees the sash and stuff. She's like, oh, what are you going to say, Ben?
Sorry. We might need some medicine in the future, but yeah, what are you saying? we have some other matters.
Most probably.
Okay. You see, she invites you in, and she's like, please come in. And let me get you some tea, and let me find some food. And she starts rustling through some stuff. The place is a bit of a mess. It smells really weird in here. And there are, as you try to come in, like you have to really kind of hunker down and then like get really tight together. Hanging from the ceiling are all sorts of like herbs and dried roots and things that are hanging to dry. And then you see on the wall is a beautiful amber stone that pulsates a strange light just over her fireplace. And she's like sifting around trying to find stuff to feed you all.
So is she like a legit herbalist? Can Talon tell that this is like the real deal?
Yeah,
given
actually,
you can identify plants and such?
Yeah, you're an Uthgar.
Or is this all just like...
Yeah, when you look around, yeah, she's absolutely legit, and you recognize mandrake root. You can see in the mortar and pestle that she's working witch powder, which is really odd. That tells you, so witch powder is used to identify things that are magical. And then wolfsbane, you see, and then you see like a lot of common roots and common herbs. Some of them that would be used for different ailments.
Okay.
But yeah, she's totally legit.
Tell me, Ingrid, where did you become so herb-wise?
Oh, are you yourself a student of herb lore?
I've been a dabbler, we'll say.
Well, I learned it from my master. We all become apprentices here in Brandonsford. And so, Allura, old Allura Gamwitch, she taught me everything that I knew.
Even about witch powder, and he kind of like taps it with the blunt end of his spear.
At that, she drops the tea and spills it everywhere, and she's trying to like wipe it up, and she's like, "Oh, you recognize witch powder? Oh yes, yeah. Someone wanted me to make that for them. They said that it's a silly superstition, really, right?
So someone wanted you to make it for them, you say?
Oh yes, a customer came by. They wanted me to make some witch powder, but that's just silly, of course.
I didn't think. What's witch powder? Can you tell me?
Often used to identify enchanted things, forgotten things.
Magic stuff. So I didn't think. And he'll look over at Ingrid. Rabbi to look at it. Magics. I didn't think hobbits trafficked in all that magic stuff. Hmm. Do you? I'm new to the culture.
Oh, you say that to Ingrid?
Yeah. That's he's literally saying that. To
She's
Ingrid.
like that all happens in character, and she's just like,
Stone faced.
So
that's. I wouldn't say that's entirely true. Hobbits, we know magical things. We many of us are very attuned to the streams and the wood and the air. And we do so much very love the earth and everything it provides. And in some ways, what is not magical.
Yeah, so witch powder's fake, is it?
Oh no, witch powder's a very real thing.
Shaw.
Oh, well, she was saying that it was fake, so...
Shaw goes over and starts helping pick up the tea, and he just kind of looks at her and says, "We're seeking the witch," and then just helps clean stuff up.
Oh, you mean the big person like yourself that lives out in the woods?
Yes.
Well, actually, let me look. Oh, actually, I have it right here. Brandonsford, it borders the river here, the stream, so if you just keep the sun to your left shoulder, and go straight into the woods, you'll find a clearing after about a mile, and there's a hut there. She's an old big person that's lived out in the woods for a long time.
How long a time?
Oh, people have sometimes mentioned her since I was a child.
That's a real long time for one of us.
Yes, I suppose it's been several decades. Back when the roads still were there were still guards and people traveled the roads and people came and more big people came and collected taxes when I was little.
Is she your customer?
No. And she obviously looks like really shaken and nervous when you say that.
Oh, I see.
Be at ease, apothecary. I don't care what you deal in. Obviously not hurting us. Obviously not hurting anyone else. Your business is your own. Just tell us about this witch.
What's your charisma modifier?
I have a modifier?
Is it
-1?
-1. Yeah. She's like, she actually becomes a bit indignant and she says, "Look, if you're here to rob the apothecary, then I'll call for the bounders. But I don't. Unless you're here to buy something, I don't see what else there is I can offer you, you gentlemen."
Well, I was just curious if you've had any dealings with this. I guess we'll call her a witch since the trouble with recent trouble in past weeks with the goblins in the woods and the beasts attacking the hunters. I was concerned if you had actually spoken with her since any of this trouble. If she living in the woods, maybe she'd have any insights or anything like that.
Look, as I've said, I know nothing about all of these things you're saying. But as far as I'm concerned, why don't you go speak with her yourself?
That's what I was proposing. But first, I was curious when last you spoke with her, in case she had any insights.
Now,
Is
unless
she
you're-
still safe? Is she still there? Have you talked to her since any of this business happened? So if we...
Sirs, if you're not here to buy something, I'd like to ask you to leave because I need to clean up all this tea.
Oh, Bashaw's been helping pile stuff
Help
up.
clean up
But he
the tea.
looks at her and says, Ingrid, we will seek your witch friend for information. Hopefully we can take care of the troubles. And when we do begin taking care of the troubles, we will certainly be back for your services. We have a tendency to require much goods in the ways of healing.
Well, if you ever need healing, that is what I'm here for.
Well, thank you for your time, Ingrid.
Certainly did not mean to offend.
A good day and a very good fall festival to you. And she
to you.
like nervously like opens the door, and yeah.
Just before we leave, Bashaw turns back and goes, really, we're going to need that healing.
Okay. We're-
So many scars.
Build character.
Yeah.
Define you.
All right, where do we go next?
The one-armed man.
Okay, you go back to the sign and it says Hunting Lodge. It takes you closer to the edge of town on the other side of the side of the wall where there's another gate and two bounders watch the edge of the wall. And you can hear the noise of running water from the other side of the wall. Now, as I said before, this wall is big person size. It's like an actual legit city wall, but which is kind of ludicrous because what's in it is not at all big person size. But on the edge of town are some stables and some, one-walled and two-walled buildings and stuff, and then what looks like a lodge. It doesn't sound like anyone's around here. There are two little dogs that are tied up in the little hobbit-sized stables. But,
All right.
the door's closed.
Yeah. Nobody around that we can see. But to go, I guess, do we knock at the door?
It's a hunter's lodge. Just go on in.
We're qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the little hobbit door. It's down here to you. And you like bend down and and step into the lodge. Thankfully, it's a lodge. You're able to almost like stand up, but you have to like bend your neck down a little bit. And you hear a voice of someone who muttering to himself in the middle of the room at a long bench with many open and empty seats except his.
How many arms?
Hail, hunter.
And you
Does
see,
he have one arm?
yeah, he does. He has one arm, and he's got like wild red hair that's just like crazy and matted, and he's missing an arm. He's got a stump that's covered in a bandage, and he's like, big people, what? I didn't do anything. It
Except
wasn't
lose
me.
an arm.
I'm gonna
About that,
see if he has
we're here to help.
Gotta,
We can't give you your arm back. Niall,
He
without
starts
that, so to
weeping
speak.
instead of what I thought of when you said that.
Ooh,
Yeah, he
okay.
starts crying on you.
Oh,
I'll pat him on the back. There. Just cry it out, and then we're gonna have some questions.
The crying takes a good hour or two.
Man,
He wants a hug. He eats a lot. He stops crying and sobs and eats, and then he starts crying again. Has to take a snack for a while.
gonna bring him some
Keep his
liquor.
blood
is there anything
sugar
to
up.
drink?
Yeah, there's stuff to drink in there.
I'll keep getting him drinks to,
Yeah.
and if I can partake in myself. If there
Yeah.
were free drinks, then I'm like,
Just
Yeah.
let's try it out together. We'll get through this. And I'll
He's
just
got
be
drinks
feeding him
and
drinks
food.
and
All right.
taking advantage of the hospitality to get myself plenty of drinks too.
Nice.
eating some hobbit bread, passing the bottle around.
Yeah. You find a way to rob this poor ailing hobbit of his food, which counts as your food for the day.
I'm trying to help console him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And
And
this is a business expense.
per diem for being a deputy bounder. Okay, so anyways, he eventually like calms down and he says, "The rave, he sent you here, didn't he?"
No, actually.
No?
Really sent us, but we did hear of your troubles, and we're here to try and see what we can do for the community.
You think I'm crazy too, don't you?
Also,
No, you clearly lost an arm. That sounds pretty rough, man. Why would we think you were crazy?
The other hobbits here, it was a dragon, I tell you. It was a serpentine black creature stretched the length of 3 trees into the wilderness, scurried around on its belly, ripped my companions in two, and devoured them whole. When it breathed, a noxious gas came out of its nose, its nostrils and mouth, and they just evaporated like smoke.
Certainly messed up. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I believe you, because I've seen some shit.
the Shah, with all the tact in the world, goes, "Where?"
It lives in a cave at the foot of the mountains to the north, the foothills of the Black Mountains. It's where the dwarves used to come and mine. But there's a cave there. But you'll never kill it. Its black scales are like magical armor. Nothing can penetrate it. We're doomed.
Ugh.
So did you
Well.
track this thing down, or did it hunt your friends down? Like, how often? Like, was it one? Sorry, just trying to get an idea of what's going on.
We
Were you out hunting and it got everybody, or was this
we've been
going to its lair?
working trees along the river for some time. We thought that we'd start out fresh, closer to the dwarves. Maybe make some trade. It didn't happen. Something had destroyed everything in its path. But we were fools. We chopped trees and made camp anyways. There in the foothills. And that's where it came from. From the caves there.
So I'm hearing this could be also related to what made the dwarves stop showing up. Which, yeah, we'd like to figure that problem out too, right? So.
Look, stranger, I think it might be best if you just left this town to its fate. I don't want to see you get hurt too. But these fool hobbits, they're not going to wake up in time. Not during their fall festival when they get especially fat as they do. Even with the wood running dry, even without ore and metal, even with a failing crop, they'll die here in this shire. And eventually those big walls will come tearing down underneath that noxious gas that eats away at everything. He starts weeping again.
Oh, my friend. Cheer up. Our fates are bound with yours. We will do what we can.
He seems a little better off with the company and the conversation, and especially the validation.
If it's is it closer to nighttime now?
Let's see, you started in the morning. It's late afternoon currently.
Okay. Wondering if it's gonna take a while to get to the witch. But we should either go now or spend the rest of the evening hanging out with this hobbit and just letting him tell his hunting stories.
If I hear one more of his stories, I might just die.
I'll take the other arm.
It sounds like you need to keep drinking while I listen to his stories. All right.
Yeah. Give you another bottle.
God. Raven Preserve.
You guys are gonna like raid the pantry and the barrels of the hunting lodge, and it's missing patrons.
It sounds like there's only one left, and if I know anything about hobbits, you can impose parties on them, right?
This is our hoopla.
Eventually,
Our fuss.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
I guess we should probably go see the witch. We've got solid information.
Well, it's a mile away.
Oh, that's not too far.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be back in time to enjoy the evening offerings at the tavern.
Well, apparently, and also there's an entire hunting lodge and only one hunter left. I mean, he could use the help, right? And drink and stuff. But yeah, I like that idea too.
What's his name?
His name is George.
Well, what about it, George? Will we see you at the tavern later?
And he's like crazy and like crazy matted red hair and streaked with tears and everything. He's like, I don't think I want to go to the crazy
George.
fox.
Oh, George, just dip your head in some water, and I promise you, I'll play you a nice tune when we get back.
What's your charisma modifier?
I believe it's still a +1 at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So +1.
Okay. He wipes his tears out of his face and he's like, "That's the proper hobbit thing to do, and it's what my friends would have me do. I'll meet you at the Clumsy Fox tonight."
Perfect.
Give him a clap on the shoulder and
Unless you'd prefer the golden egg.
Which one would you recommend, George?
He thinks for a moment. His eyes kind of dart around. There's something that he's calculating. And then he says, "Clumsy Fox.
Yes.
I'll see you there as the light dims on Brandon's wall." And then he starts singing.
I'm going to do my best to catch the tune and make note of it.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. Okay. Yeah, what do you all do now?
To the witch.
yeah, we're off to the witch.
All right, to the witch.
Singing some Dio.
So you request to leave, and they open the gates. You all should be able to see a token down in the bottom. Is that right?
I just see a big black square.
Yep.
Let me make sure that everybody can see this.
Not loading on my screen just yet.
Don't move the token, okay? Once you're able to see it. But you should be able to see it here soon. I'll fix it. Did that show up for you all?
I saw a ping on a big black square. Yeah.
See the ping.
Yeah, just still seeing the square.
Okay. How about that?
I see it.
Brandonsford with the little sword thing on it.
Yeah.
Yep, the party counter.
Okay, and you can see a few squares around Brandonsford.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There we go.
From the gates of Brandonsford, that is in fact what you see. You see the tall gates of Brandonsford towering over you like normal city gates. You know that there's a river on the northwest side of Brandonsford. Most of the overland travel won't work this way. It's just unique to this area. You know that on the east side of Brandonsford, around it are forests. Where do you go? I'll move the token. You just tell me where you want to go. Or you can hold left mouse button down to ping as well.
Follow directions to the witch.
Keep sun to left shoulder. Go into
Yeah.
the woods. Find a clearing.
The
Yeah,
sun
about a
is
mile.
this way. It's to the northwest.
Yes. Now, where was it when we were given the instructions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems a little.
So basically,
Seems like a
she's basically saying go east, but a little north by northeast, mostly east.
So we'll follow the path through the woods.
Yeah, let's
To that
follow. Let's
northeast
go
corner.
northeast. Yeah.
We'll go,
That's where we were trying to go.
you go to the east, and let me check. Let's see. All right, nice. You keep going into the woods as you go. All of a sudden, start to encircle you and get dense. You can vaguely remember Knob guiding you through the woods, but nothing looks particularly familiar. It's still afternoon afternoon currently. And if you keep going into the thick woods, you can see how it starts to clear up further ahead into the east. Yeah,
Right, carry on in that direction.
keep going east. Okay.
Head for the clearing is. Yeah.
It
Probably
does.
starts heading slightly north too.
Yeah, you do have a clearing. It's obvious to you now, and you can see little smoke trailing off in the distance up out of something in the clearing.
Oh, we forgot to ask what her name was.
Oh, yeah, she's that big folk witch.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, we're just gonna go with witch.
I mean,
Yeah,
well, I tried to get more information, and she just was like, "Get out of my shop." Okay. And by the point, I was trying to get a little bit more, she was not having it.
Service refusal.
Oof.
You start heading towards the little smoke, or where do you go?
Yeah, let's check out the
Follow
smoke.
Okay.
I will try and move silently, if it matters.
Something
get
happens.
Oh no.
Sorry.
As you get closer to the smoke, you can see a little kind of plateau near a stream, and it's clear that there is, in fact, a wattle hut off by itself in the clearing. But before you get into sight, you see something strange in the woods as you're crossing into the woods. There's a swath in the woods where trees have just been knocked down in a line. And you can see what looks like, in particular, Talon, that the trees that haven't been knocked down nearby have burn marks where something caustic has covered the trees and burned them.
Ooh.
Signs of our beast.
Yeah, gotta keep an eye on my on the tree line. I'm gonna get my bow ready.
As you get closer to the opening and come out into the opening and stuff with your weapons ready, and you get closer to this this wattle hut, you can see that there are topiaries everywhere outside of the wattle hut. And as you get closer, you can see that they're all woodland creatures and different people, like in different poses. Some of them with weapons, some of them in states of surprise. They are all immaculately detailed topiaries. And you can see on the front end, at the base of this wattle hut down below that plateau and near the stream, there's also a pond. It is a really pretty pond, and in fact the area here is really pretty. Let's switch to that, in fact.
Perhaps, lads, we should put the weapons away.
And Bashal put his bow away.
And
Talon doesn't really have much choice since he's got a spear. Not really a lot of places to put it.
I'm always ready.
other than that, you can see, you can't see what's in the hut from where you are. There is smoke coming out of it. Pond here in front of it. Beneath where it's kind of up on this bank. And there are these topiaries all around the pond.
Talon is just fascinated by these topiaries. Never seen anything like this.
Yeah, they are unusually detailed to be topiaries. The cutting and trimming is down to a point where you can almost see the small contours of the skin that could give you a sense of like whether or not the person this like representation has like mottled skin, or whether or not, you know, like if it's fair skinned, etc.
And they seem to be in positions of like defensive postures kind of stuff.
Some of them are, others are holding weapons, some of them are just standing as if they're going to talk, all sorts of things like that.
Oh,
like every option that we would come up with.
Are the topiaries natural?
I'm trying to think of how to answer your question. Give me a second here.
So, while we're thinking on that, I'm just conferring with... Alright, so, Ingrid at least is friendly with her. So, we're going to a witch hut with creepy topiaries, so I'm thinking, don't be... we want to be on our behavior. Are we on the same page here?
Yes.
Let's not be jerks and piss off the witch.
Entirely agree.
Yeah. Should we announce our presence so it doesn't look like we're trying to get the jump on her, or do we want to be...
Yes. No, let's announce ourselves, shall we?
Because, yeah.
You do that from near the topiaries, you kind of shout up to announce yourself?
Supposedly.
Yeah,
Yes.
after conferring, if everybody's on board. That's in-character discussion as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
To answer your question, Talon, these are plants. These are topiaries. They are topiaries.
Mm-hmm. But they're natural shrubbery or what have you.
It is so unlikely that they could have formed so perfectly into the shape of people, and then like it would take a master of like to do this. It would be unrivaled
with tools of a precision that we may never have encountered or thought possible.
Yeah,
it's like laser topiary.
Yeah,
he's just enraptured by them. I mean, yeah, it's kind of ominous, but he's craftsmanship.
Yes, so I will then announce loudly in my best herald voice.
Um,
Ho there!
the first thing that happens when you do that is little heads bob up out of the pond, and they have like stringy algae plant hair, but otherwise they look like little doll heads, and they all pop up out, and they're like, and they say, "You should surrender your weapons." Cast your weapons into the pond, or the witch will turn you into shrubbery for her garden.
Do we get them back?
They just giggle when you say that.
Lord have mercy.
I think we've gone too far.
It's like, I put my hands up and like, Ingrid sends her regards. Are you friends with the pond critters?
You hear like rustling, and then the door open, and there is this old haggard woman, and she's just this she's got gray frizzy hair and hunched and one big bulging eye, and a wrinkled purple dress, and she comes out and she's like, "Don't let them bother you. Come on up. Hey, you get out of here. Get out of here." And they like, "Ooh," and they all pop down into the pond.
So we won't be turned into shrubbery then?
Not yet. She goes in her hut.
Oh no.
Okay. And our weapons, madam?
As long as
You won't need
Pranksters.
those. You won't need those.
I trust we will not.
Bashaw walks in. He's okay.
And there's let's see here. Actually, it's really homey inside. There's like a kitchen. It's unusually spacious once you get inside of it. There's like all of the furniture is overly quilted and plush and fluffy and like overly comfy. Like you just kind of like sink into things whenever you sit down on rocking chairs or seats or any furniture. It's grandmotherly in here is that's how I would sum it up.
Is there a thin sheet of plastic over all the sheet, all the seats?
It smells like mothballs and yeah.
old bowl of Werthers, everybody.
You lift it up, the whole thing comes out.
She starts making you. She's like, I haven't had visitors in a while. I'll make you some pie. And like she turns and starts working her stove to try to make you some pie.
Madam, may we ask questions?
And then she turns around, she looks at you, and she's like, "You liked my topiaries. There's something, aren't they?"
Quite remarkable.
Yes. I've worked on them for many years. They're very special to me. They took a lot of work. Why, that one, and she points out the window, and it's like a woodland creature, and then another one vaulting over the top of it, but then it stops. She's like, I worked on that one for the better part of 2 seasons.
Your craftsmanship is excellent.
Yes. It takes the finest precision and care to make those. And she goes on, and then she just keeps talking about it, like how she worked on it and what it means to her and what it makes her think of, and like And she loses her place, and she repeats herself, and talks about the same topiary again, and just keeps going like that.
Dear lady, may I ask about the state of the trees roundabout?
Well, there are not many trees in my clearing.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Not too far from here, we couldn't help but notice there were a lot of trees that were down. I assume your topiaries and your business have been safe from the troubles in the area. We're trying to see what we can do to help your neighborly hobbits over there. They may not be the most neighborly at times. I apologize if they haven't been as friendly as I'm trying to be, but trying to just see what we can do in the area.
You speak of the dragon.
Yes.
That's
So it's true.
Yes. There's a dragon.
It stays away from your topiaries and it's not been giving you any trouble, I take it then?
Oh, it hasn't given me trouble. Oh. You want to kill the dragon.
I wouldn't go
Yes, of course. The dragon.
eat death by dragon is maybe a better, more maybe realistic term. Kill it. Whatever works.
Well, if you don't wish to die by dragon, why would you stay around for Brandonsford?
Because we feel obliged, my lady, to help them out.
Oh, valiant knights, then.
So you're the first. So it is. Is it? Do you know? Is it planning on eating Brandonsford anytime soon? I mean, I don't know if you know how much he might actually talk to this guy, but everyone seems to be saying, "Oh, Brandonsford's doomed." By the way, so just wondering if you had any. We're new to town and trying to see if there's any updates on dragon business that we should be aware of.
Brandonsford's doom if somebody doesn't do something about that dragon. There hasn't been valiant knights here since Brandon himself. You might find better company in Griff's Bluff if you're going to be knights and nobles.
Seek the dwarves.
Yes, we need to reach the dwarves.
The dwarves? Oh, since the roads fell, we haven't seen dwarves except for some scattered merchants and vagabonds that make their way through, the criminals in Blesvik. But the real dwarves, they lie on the other side of this mountain range.
There's a dragon in the way.
There is. Yes. If you wish
Tell
to
us,
kill
grandmother.
it... Oh, go ahead.
Tell us, grandmother, where did this dragon come from? It didn't just slink out of the darkness from storybooks and well wishes. It came from somewhere.
Yes, indeed. You can speak to the land.
We can?
Yeah, she's looking to
Talon.
Talon, yeah. When she says that.
Speak to her in Druidic and be like, I can speak to the land.
She giggles like delighted. Yes, it's truly been a long time since your kind has made it to here. Yes, then you should know that dragons are an elemental force. Something indeed has made that dragon. And I don't think it will be the last.
Well, what made it?
Some sort of infusion of evil and darkness. Along with that wind and energy that passes through the trees. I'm sure you felt it when you pass through and walk by. Touch the leaves here. There's a song, a laughter. And Edward, you will have, like, you don't know if she's referencing this, but that is actually there are songs about, like, the songs that as you pass through the woods. It's almost like note for note about the Archfey Caber.
Okay. So, it's someone of Fey kind that's responsible, you say?
Responsible. Who could be responsible? Whatever's inside of that dragon is responsible. If you're going to kill the dragon, I could tell you how.
Yes,
That's what I was going for. Yeah. You're-
There are trees in the western wood. They drip a wine like sap. That wine that comes from the sap is magically potent. It could knock a mortal unconscious with just a sip. But you should be warned. There are creatures that they dance among those woods. They wouldn't take kindly to someone taking their wine.
Could we ask them for it nicely?
You would need to be very clever. But then she looks at you and she sees your instrument and your gear and everything. She looks at you and she's like, "But I think that you are."
Well, thank you for the compliment, madam. I take it these beings that dance are no friend to dragons?
Oh, I don't know that they're friends to anyone, really.
I see. Well, sometimes I know how they feel.
I think that will change.
So these are dancing spirits. Any particular any songs you know they seem to like? Any tips for?
Somehow, as you are talking with her and stuff, she has finished the pie, and the sun is beginning to slowly set, and she puts a pie out in front of you to eat.
Happily enjoy some pie.
They're like little plates that she sets out with knives and forks for you, and they've got doilies on it and everything, and then it's like little slices of pie for each of you.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is,
Be
it's
rude
starting
to
to
refuse our elder.
is it getting dark? Are we going to need to leave soon to get back to
No,
town?
it's just getting to be evening, is all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, just for time frame for reference, I'll make sure, like, as long as it took us to get out of here, we know how to get back to town. We're not, like, in danger of being trapped out here after dark.
No, not at all.
Okay. That's,
Unless something happens, but you know.
yeah, well, yeah.
So we reached
So
for dice.
far.
What are you doing now? Oh, good. It's just a candle.
like I'm reaching for dice, and Steve's like, no, you don't need dice. You don't need dice. Everybody
Grandmother.
Just enjoy your pie in silence for a moment. Everybody eats pie. Go ahead.
So was the pie? What kind of pie is it?
It's like a kind
berries?
of red tart. You know, either like a rhubarb or a berry, or
Is it gooseberries?
it's gooseberry pie. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Tom?
This dragon, it doesn't bother you. I mean, must it be slain? It's still a part of this world.
Well, it would be something indeed if you could try to bring it back from whatever happened to it. But I think that Brandonsford will burn before that happens. It's tragic. But if you want to save Brandonsford, I think you may have to intervene before it's over.
Do what we must. If we must.
"30 minutes pass. Everyone eats pie. You hear giggling in the pond, burbling from the stream.
What are those creatures?
Those are cedar pond critters. Yeah, what about those?
Oh, the pond? Oh, little nasty. They're just nixies. I could tell them to leave you alone if you wish.
That sounds helpful.
They very nearly got our weapons.
Oh, yes. They have collected several other weapons and things from people. All down there in the pond now. They like to pull that prank on people. And then she yells out the window, "You! Leave them alone! Go! Get! And then and then these things fly off. These purple winged things fly off into the trees.
I'm picturing ducks when you disturb them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't help it, but my interest speaks they got anything good in that pond?
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm
I mean,
gonna do a quick little dip.
I mean, I am a thief. That's my first thought. It's oh, wait, so.
Yeah, will they mind if we go in? Are they? Yeah. Do they live? Do they live in the pond?
I won't let them hurt you.
Oh.
So wouldn't it be a great prank on the pranksters to go nick their stuff and?
Oh, sure.
Nick some stuff from the Nixies?
People have thrown things into that pond for years.
Do you mind?
I don't.
Wouldn't want to presume.
Well, will you be leaving then?
Yes, I think after we take our dip, we'll probably be on our way.
Well, let me make something for you to go. And she hobbles over and starts to. She puts some things together and puts boiling water in it, and she gives you these little potables, each of you one. And she's like, when things are dire, these may help you. Thank you for just spending some time with me. And
your hospitality is much appreciated, grandmother. Thank you.
And Taylor.
Best pie I've had in a long time, if ever. It's been great.
When the time comes, I would love for us to speak more of your knowledge of the wood and the air and stream. Maybe we could learn from each other.
Perhaps.
Like a great idea.
Perhaps there is some truth to that.
Oh, by the way, did we ever get your name?
Yeah. Okay. She says, yeah.
I thought she gave it to us.
She says, it's Vivian. I have gone by different names over time, but that's the last one I held for years before. Yes, before.
Well, Vivian will work just fine.
And your names?
Name's Ben. I've been known to go by Rat Bite. Either one you want to call me is fine. And
yeah, and Taylin, I don't think you gave her your name.
He didn't. No. Well met, Vivian. I am Talon Moonfeather of Black Raven tribe.
Black Raven tribe.
Edward, my lady.
Edward. And it reaches out for Bashar's hand. And your name?
He takes it. Says, "I am Bashar."
Bashar. It's good to meet you all. Please be safe in these woods. They have changed in recent weeks.
Thank you for your hospitality.
As you leave, she waves goodbye, closes the door. You all go to the pond? Is that the plan?
Down,
Yeah.
dip in the pond, see if I find anything.
No creatures poke their heads up this time. But as you sift around the bottom of the pond, you find 18 gold coins, a silver bangle set with turquoise stones, which you think would be worth at least 200 gold pieces, and a gilded scabbard set with carnelians arranged like blossoming fat flowers, which you think would be worth at least 400 gold pieces. And then there are just piles of rusted weapons, which would be worthless.
Well, that's a good haul. I'll take that.
Nice.
I mean, well, for party funds, of course. If we can find anybody to sell it to.
All right, back to the woods. And like I said, this is not how overland travel usually go. This is just unique to this one. But yeah, where do you go? And you can just tell me,
It's
like,
safe to say we're
Back to Brandonsford.
by the same path.
see our good friend George.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got a one-armed hobbit to cheer up.
Good luck.
Or maybe
Yeah,
to
we'll
use as a shield to get more free drinks. But... I mean, the community needs to help us cheer this guy up, and so they should be,
You hear giggling in the trees as you walk by. As the sun, as it's setting above and its rays are penetrating on either side and kind of refracting into beams onto the forest floor, you hear little giggles.
sound like the Nixies.
No, it sounds like like tinny. It's more tinny and small. They're little like around you.
Ready my bow, keep on walking.
Okay.
I got my. Yeah.
Let's see. Bashaw, you can make a. This isn't what I need. Make a save versus wands.
Oh no. Okay, here we go. Oh,
Big bucks.
Did you
it's an
pass?
8.
Oof.
No,
You,
I got an 8.
You all of a
Almost
sudden,
hit
like,
20.
you're walking, and then all of a sudden, and you slam forward and slam your face onto a nearby log. You take 2 points of damage as you slam your face into the log, and your ears are ringing and your head's hurting and stuff. You look down and you can see that the leather straps and different things near your boots, which you always keep immaculately tucked in, have been bound together and tied together.
Oof.
And you all hear giggling.
It's an evil place.
Pranksters.
Yeah, what do you do?
The woods are alive with playful spirits.
Let's make best speed back to Brandonsford.
All right. So you help Bashaw up and untangle his boots, and you get his boots back and stuff, and you're
Keep a close eye on all the purse strings and anything that can be untied or tied.
Yeah.
Just constantly patting my hands about my person.
Right.
Just to,
Edward, make a wisdom attribute check.
Oh my goodness. Is that a D20?
Yeah, to get under your wisdom score.
Under it, you say?
Yeah.
Small bucks.
Well, I have less than a 50% chance. Let's find out what happens. No.
You just hear giggling. Everything's fine.
Oh, God.
Everything's
Yeah, that's right. Everything's fine.
But you still hear giggling. You guys walk a little bit further. The giggling kind of echoes and follows, and then you hear it like dispersed, like there are different giggling voices. And all of a sudden, Ben, you feel like something like a bug or mosquito, and then like if you swat it, you feel it from the other side, and then all of a sudden, like you feel like it pull on your ears and pull your head back, and then you see a little face and it giggles. It goes, hee hee hee, and then like you feel something jab up into your nose. Make a save versus wand.
Okay. Okay, I rolled an 18, and let's see. So I went high or I went low?
on high.
I went high. I rolled an 18.
18. Yeah,
Okay.
some little creature tried to jam its arms up into your nostrils to, but you like got away, and then this thing is like floating in front of your face, giggling at you.
Oh, hi. I'm trying to think of something funny to say, but I got nothing.
Kill them.
Those Nixies were really talking shit about you guys. I think you should go.
Nice. This little thing that looks like Tinkerbell like puts its hands on its hips and is like, and then like speeds off into the distance. You see him like zoom off.
Time to go.
Yeah, them Nixies really don't like you. Get those guys. They were talking such crap.
War between the Nixies and that.
So
Okay.
begin the Sprite Wars.
All right.
A long, long time ago through a shadow gate far, far
Yeah.
away.
And eventually you make it back to Brandonsford, where it is now evening time. There we go.
We should go find
Alright.
the clumsy fox, right?
Yep.
All right. You notice at this point, Edward, that your bags feel lighter.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Let me check them.
I have to do some math for this part.
Okay.
I think you all have
shoes.
2,200 gold worth of gems that you turned your wealth into, right?
It
That
was
sounds right.
250 in gold,
I wasn't in possession of any of them.
50 in...
Literally, though, I didn't pick up any coins whatsoever.
You lose.
Because all that was acquired before I joined the party.
I'm the keeper of the tallies, but not the keeper of the swag.
They have stolen. Okay, so then we'll say Bashaw. They have or Ben actually, because Bashaw was getting high while Ben was. So Ben would probably have it.
That checks out.
Yeah. So Ben, you
He
take
was
a look.
chasing his own dragons.
Yeah. You can see that like there are bags of gems missing. On a quick glance, it looks like you're missing 726 gold pieces worth of gems.
Oh, that's the problem with putting them in gems. They're easy to carry, but easy to steal.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the total?
The total that you all have, I don't know the exact amount. I had reckoned it was
lost.
something like minus 726 gold pieces.
Oh,
Oh, that gilded scabbard and the silver whatever bangle almost makes up the difference, but not quite.
618 gold pieces.
Left.
Oof. No, just from the other thing. I'll have to calculate our our grievous damage.
When you're let back into the gates, and you can see that people are winding down for the evening, and many of them are in fact headed to the Clumsy Fox. Some of them tabled outside, and some of them inside. It's a busy place, and there's another tavern just a couple of buildings down that's almost entirely empty.
Oh, with the
So,
was it the gilded egg? Was that what they said? Was that
The golden egg.
golden egg? That's it.
so that's the tavern they go to, and that's the tavern they don't go to.
Never seen an alehouse so deserted.
Huh. Well, perhaps a question we can ask of those who in the non-deserted one.
Yeah, let's find George and I'll buy him a drink.
And play him a song,
All right.
lamenting our lost treasure.
Oh, aye. Can't wait to hear, friend Edward.
When you come up to the Clumsy Fox, there are, like I said, all sorts of people outside, and there are. These are all this. Okay. And there are little hobbit young lasses that are two of them. Three of them that are serving patrons. You can see one behind the bar with glasses, a bald head, and he's talking to several different hobbits. And one of which at the bar is George Bilberry, who looks the most well put together you have seen. You could have even imagined. He has in fact wetted his wild red hair and tied it back, and he's put on a proper set of clothes, at least for a hunter. And people were slapping him on the back and chatting with him and talking to him, and generally causing a bit of a fuss about George.
Okay.
Pretty
Well,
impressive for a one-armed man.
I'm going to immediately unsling my lute,
All right.
and I'm going to strum a startling and yet positive vibed chord on it.
All right, you do that. Zoom. All right.
Yes.
And it
And then flamenco style, I'm going to dance up and down with some chords to punctuate the moment.
Yeah, you start a little bit of a jig as you go. Let me get something a little more jaunty here if I can.
Well, possibly a jig. We'll see how it unfolds. And not to be too plagiaristic here, but and I'm not playing the hero of Janestown, but I am going to play something to the tune that George was humming to himself earlier.
Yeah, I mean, speaking. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Speaking. Go ahead.
Oh no, I speaking of that Firefly reference, the song he was singing was like a kind of.
It's a kludge of an old sea chanty or of some sort, I believe.
A ballad of he sings a ballad of Brandon, the ballad of Brandon, and so I have to log back in. It's giving me problems. And it captures everyone's attention. Do I have to roll for this, like a save versus magic?
Let me. Yes, let me grab that. Where's that handy dandy volume? Here it is. I think I've got it bookmarked and everything. Yes. Now, up to 2 HD of creatures per level of the bard are affected.
You can assume that the vast majority of people would be affected if successful.
Yeah, and I'm not even necessarily trying my best to actually enchant everybody. I'm just singing a nice tune. So, I'm not trying to impose my will on the room necessarily. Keep it cheerful, keep it upbeat.
Exaggerated wink.
We'll use it as a degree of success kind of roll here.
All right, so it says I can fascinate subjects.
Whoa. Yeah, you fascinate them, all right.
Fascinated subjects, they must be save versus spells or be fascinated.
Oh. Okay. Well, it still works, but they're not enthralled. They just kind of like take it for granted that somebody's hired a big person to put on a song. But you see like tears like start to run down George's face, and he smiles and nods as you all come in. And you see also the other person that's really impacted by this is Knob, and the hobbits near him. Knob is just like, he is enthralled by this. But otherwise, you do not gain the effects of that. It's just good music, and it does a fine job.
But those two gentlemen are wrapped, or they are fascinated, or no?
No, I would just say that they are really
moved.
Yeah, moved by the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just keep playing the song and then wait for the inevitable cheer, and then
What in the world?
toast everybody's good health.
Okay, yeah, and a bunch of people do clap, and they're really happy with it. Weird. Okay. Give me back to Brandonsford. Okay. Okay, and what do you do next? You've got all kinds of hobbits. I will say that just for that, it will give you a +1 just to reaction rolls for talking and stuff like that. But yeah.
I'd like to tactfully bring up the issue of the other empty tavern.
Oh, who do you ask about that?
I guess I'll ask George. He's our friend.
George. Okay, yeah. He says, "Oh, that's Quinn. He's a good hobbit, a proper hobbit. But the Golden Egg hasn't been doing well for the past season or so. It's his ale, you see. And by the way, you should try Bentley's Foxtail. It is good. It's worth every 3 silver pieces. But the Golden Egg just has terrible ale. As good of a hobbit as Quinn is, his ale's not good."
For the last season, you say?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's also strange was it good or passable before that time?
Oh, absolutely.
And so what's the problem?
I'm not sure. It could be about this, and he takes out his pipe and starts smoking it. It could be the lack of shipments that's been coming through the town lately. There's been a lot of problems with that the past few weeks. Doesn't explain what's happened the better part of 2 seasons ago, though.
Well, what you all must grow your own supplies for making beer, yes?
Oh,
Surely.
Bentley does. Relies on the farmers on the edge of town, but gets his barley from them. But Quinn, Quinn's a good hobbit. I think that he took inventory from some of the merchants that had come into town.
Well, even so, even if his supply had dropped off, that wouldn't mean bad beer. That would mean no beer, correct?
Oh, if you ask me, some of the ale that I've tried there about a season ago now, it rather tasted like you'd put some water in that ale.
Oh, I see. Well, perhaps we'd better have a word with him tomorrow if we think about it. Perhaps there's more work that needs doing.
Give him my my well wishes, and he puts down his pipe and he lifts his drink because he only has one arm. And Quinn's a good hobbit, though.
Yes, so you've said.
And
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Yes, do you know any other tunes, George?
Let's see here.
Give us a local favorite.
That's an interesting combination. Is it this one? No. That one. This is what I need. Yeah, he starts singing, and he sings a kind of like a dirge this time, a sad tune. It puts everything kind of in a somber mood in the tavern. It is something about like not seeing friends again when they have traveled on and don't return from the horizon. And it's something kind of like, obviously, he's thinking about his friends. You can hear, I also want to note, Bashaw and Ben nearby. You hear people talking about someone stealing stuff.
Lean in a bit.
His interest.
There are also, you see the hobbit from earlier, Rotrude, with another lady, gentle-faced, freckled, with red curls, slightly younger than Rotrude. And you see a man who is, a younger hobbit who is with, sitting with Knob, and also with an old man next to Knob. And you see two hobbits that are not dressed as well as the others sitting by themselves. And yeah, those are some of the things that you see going on in here. And then there's the barkeep who stops by every once in a while. And I'm sorry, what were you saying, Chris? I missed something.
What was I saying?
I think you were saying play us a song.
Yes, I said give us a local favorite.
So yeah, he starts singing a slow song about
and I'll try to play along, just accompany him and follow his lead there.
Yeah, it works magnificently and puts everyone in that mood. Meanwhile, an old man from behind the bar comes by. He's got glasses, little spectacles, and he's bald-headed. He's got gray sides, and he's like, "Hello there, welcome to the Clumsy Fox. What can I get for you? Oh, you're friends of William then, eh? Are you merchants from the outside? Come
George.
from Blesvik, I reckon."
It's George, right?
What did I say?
You said William.
Whoops, George, yeah.
Yes, we definitely come from outside. We actually first became friends with Knob, and we've befriended George here as well.
Oh, Knob, that's quite the dreamer. Good hobbit, though. He's a good hobbit. But yes, now, George here, and he slaps George on the back. He's a valued member of the community. Looks at George and smiles. But anyways, what could I get with... you need to try our foxtail brew. Nothing like it.
Yes, your good hobbit George just gave us the same advice.
All right, and I could have you some bread. It looks like the rooms won't fit you here. I'm sorry about that. You'll have to probably go maybe to talk to the Shire Reeve about staying in Brandon's house or something. Or you'll have to stay outside, I think. Maybe a stable. I hate that. It's very cramped, though, for a big person, I would say. But anyways, that'll be 3 silver pieces per pint for the foxtail brew, and then if you'd like some bread, that'll be another 5 silver pieces for a loaf.
5 silver for bread? Outrageous.
What do you care of money?
He
Must
actually
be
looks,
amazing bread. That sounds outrageously good bread.
he looks really downcast when you say that, and all the other hobbits are kind of like, you know. And he's like, yes, well, sir, things haven't been too well here in Brandonsford lately, but, why don't it make this on the house tonight? How about that?
Oh, very generous offer.
Just for the
Bread's
loaf.
getting
of
even
bread.
better.
I'll have that loaf of bread out. How many pints of foxtail will you have?
Well,
Puts
why?
up his hand.
Yes, I too.
Just the
Same.
one.
What? What? Who's having what? What?
Shaw's having one.
1. Okay, so everybody's having 1. Is that right?
I'll
yeah.
have one.
1. Okay. Okay. That's minus 3 silver pieces then. However, does anyone have silver pieces?
Yeah, we've got. I just.
Well, I've got this jewel encrusted scabbard.
Here, this ought to cover it. Yeah, we've got silver. We've got 250 party silver.
Nice.
I thought we had 250. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
so we
So
got
3 for each of us, so that's like 12 total.
The,
For all getting a beer.
yeah, so let's see. 3 times, 12. Yeah, 12 silver. If you get a pint. Like if everyone gets a pint. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that? It's a pint.
I'm
I'm getting one.
I'm getting one. All right. The next question I have is: do you give him silver pieces? The silver pieces from the party coffers.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at the silver pieces. He's like, "Oh, strange coinage traveling through. Then this isn't from Rebek. You couldn't have come from the eastern lands. No, you must be from afar off."
Far off indeed.
Well, a collector's item then. And then he takes it and he puts it in his apron, and then he goes back to get you all some ale and bread. And meanwhile, let's see, Bashaw, you said you were trying to listen to the stuff about thievery?
Yeah.
Okay. Make Ben and Bashaw, you can make a listen at door check, unless you have some other skill like it that you want to use.
Hear noise.
You could use a hear noise check as a thief, yeah, if you want. You
Yeah,
could do both as a thief, I'll say.
Oh, I think I rolled a weird die. I think that's 1. Yep.
So that passes the hear noise check, yeah.
Yeah, so
This is
1 or 2.
Okay.
This
The-
die with the skull on it. The skull's bad. That's 1. So it's good.
They say it's there are 2 hobbit girls, and they say, now would you believe that O'Farah Gaupsey's garden has been pilfered as of last night. Now things are getting hard around here, but that's just not very hobbit-like. Be about pilfering from other hobbits' gardens. What does this come to? I think, and the other one's like, I don't think it's a hobbit. I think it must have been a rabbit, a hare or something that's gotten into the radishes. And then the other hobbit's like, I don't think so. If you ask me, it's Ned and Squints over there. They're the ones, and they're getting hired. And I'm willing to bet that things are hard enough for Quinn, and Quinn was the guy from the Golden Egg Tavern. Things are probably hard enough for Quinn that he's hiring Squints and Ned to take all the dirt. I mean, just look at Squints and Ned. And they kind of like nod over toward those two that are by themselves and aren't dressed well.
Are they kind of keeping to themselves? Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody else seems.
I mean,
to be
yeah, they're just like right next to you,
government.
you know, and you hear this, yeah.
But like Ned and Squints, people are kind of shunning them, or are they just kind of?
Yeah, they're kind of ignoring them. Yeah.
Shaw leans into the party and says, "It was said we should contribute to the local economy. Yes."
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Suppose we were to leave a generous tip for our friend here, so that he would not have to resort to such underhanded means to supplies of.
Quinn over at the Golden Egg, you saying we should just give him money?
No, this guy. Bread guy.
Oh, the bread guy. Bentley.
Bentley is the clumsy fox, and Quinn is the
Bentley
good hobbit at the Golden Egg.
Yeah, the good hobbit, exaggerated wink. Yeah. I think he's up. The other guy's up to something, I think. But this guy.
I'm gonna scope out Ned and Squints over there. Like, are they seemed less well dressed? Are they just people just assuming they're poor and so they must be shady? But I don't know if I want to associate with them in front of everybody. But as potential thieves, I can't say I'm not intrigued.
Ratbite Ben, are you being shy?
He wants to talk to the potential fellow thieves, but he's a little shy about outing himself as a thief, I guess.
I'll just drop a little thieves' cant.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing. And
I don't know.
Yeah, you speak neutral, which is basically thieves'
exactly.
cant, yeah. If you're neutral, yeah.
Yep, and I am. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. So if they get up to leave, I want to sneak out and follow them. But
okay,
if they're just, otherwise I'm trying to be social with everybody and, clapping Ben on the shoulder and generally ingratiate with the community.
Eventually they do get up to leave. It takes some time, but they get up to leave. No one cares. No one says anything to them. And they go out the door. One of them leaning into the other says something. The other one laughs. Bashaw, you said you were going to give a tip to Bentley?
Yeah, I'll use some of my share of the hoard.
All right, what do you give him? He returns and has some bread and all of the pints of foxtail and puts it out. The foxtail smells really hearty and.
When I finish my drink, I'm gonna plop 10 gold pieces into the cup, and then just kind of leave it there.
Everyone nearby gasps when you do that.
Oh, like not like quick, like kind of like more like really kind of very carefully slide it in there. He's not trying to be like, crink, look at us. Like he's trying to be like wants it to be really subtle so that he looks in it. It's like, wait, what?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, he takes the cup and he goes, and he's like, and he comes up to you and he's like, "Sir, do you take me?" What? He's incensed actually. He's like, "Do you think that I'm like that Brilbo Buggins? And just ruin the local economy with what is this, gold? To take this, get this away from me.
He looks at it and he goes, "Oh, that's not silver."
Please, don't be spreading gold pieces around town.
Guess that would destroy the
Ruin
economy.
this,
wouldn't it?
this place.
The Shaw shrugs, takes it back.
But Shaw.
He's like, "All right."
That's so much. He's like, "Oh, I reckon you mean well, outsider, but look, we trade in silver and copper here in the Shire. You don't have gold, and we don't even have a gemsmith. You need to talk to dwarves or big people about things like that."
Kind of looks at him. He goes, "I understand," and puts a bunch of silver in the cup.
He's like, "Oh, very well met, sir. Thank you so much. You stopped by, and I'll always have one of my foxtails for you. At least for until the end of the fair." And he takes it, and he smiles at you and takes the coins.
"I don't understand small people." Kind of leans in and says that to the party, like, I don't understand what's going on here.
At that point, oh, sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say, Chris?
No. You go.
At that point, Knob comes by, and he has his own drink, and he says, "Oh, is everything going okay? You got settled in town. I see you've got the sash. All the paperwork sorted out then."
It would seem so.
Ah, well, that's lovely. And you got a job. Have you found anything out about what's going on in the woods?
I'll make sure the voice is lowered and say, "It seems your suspicions were correct."
I understand. Well, then I imagine you'll be needing Brandon's sword then.
Come again?
Well, since you're the heirs of Brandon, the records in the Matham House speak of the legends of Brandon. Of course, he had his mighty magical sword that he defeated the dragon with all those ages ago.
That does sound handy.
Very well. Well, then that's where you'll be off to next, to get the sword?
Where would we go about doing that?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, why'd you bring it up?
I thought you would know.
Sir, as we assume we know nothing. Though we are obviously messengers of Brandon, as pointed out when we first met, there's much that still remains foggy.
Oh dear. Well, slaying a dragon without that sword does sound mighty difficult. Well, I'm sure that you have it well in hand. And he like pats you on the arm and trundles off, flaps his feet off, and then goes and drinks with friends.
I think
Help.
Goodness gracious.
for all the danger they lack in physical prowess, they make up for sheer hazard of leaving out important information.
I must agree.
This time Talon leans in and is like, "I don't understand small people."
This is an inadvertently deadly race. I'm not even adding anything, just Brandon's sword, question mark, exclamation point.
All right, what do you do now?
Well, was I able to find anything on Ned and Squints? If I tried, when they left, I was gonna drink my beer. Oh, nature calls, and try and follow them out and see if I could tail them.
You're going to try to follow Ned and Squints. Okay. I think there's a check for that. You can do a dexterity attribute check and a dexterity attribute check and a it's called move silently. Yeah, move silently.
Okay, so what's it? It'll be 20 for a dex check. 13. My dex is 13.
Okay. So you pass that.
The move silently is a 25% chance. Do you roll that or do I?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to roll both of these.
Yeah.
You said it's a D100, and what's the chance?
Yeah. So the move silently is on level 2, so it's a 25% chance on the move silently, and I rolled a 13, which is my on the dex, but I don't know if you want to re-roll that yourself for help.
Sure. You follow who they motion toward as being Ned and Squints, and they one of them is kind of giggling to the other while another one's talking, and they go off down the street. The street's abandoned, and they continue on until they get closer to the edge of town, and as the wall starts to raise up, you can see on the part of town where it is, these are actually the fields that have been tilled by these are the farms. And you see a mule, and somebody comes out of one of the hovels nearby. And you see them talking to Ned and Squints. You can't hear what they say, but then the mule can see you, and you see the mule, and it starts going, "Arr, arr," and just like starts baying, and yeah.
Oh my!
Right. Well, I don't guess with that result, that probably means I can't immediately hide in shadows. So I've been spotted.
You could try to hide in shadows. I'll just say, and I wouldn't say you've been spotted except by a donkey.
A mule.
Yeah, by a mule.
Yeah. Okay.
They are looking at the mule now. Like, what's your problem? To the mule.
Yeah.
But...
Well, then I will attempt to hide, I guess.
All right.
My hide in shadows, though, is only a 15%.
Oh, wait, I do it. I'm sorry. I'm the one that does it.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the number.
Oh,
it's 15.
Okay. Yeah, you dart nearby and into the shadows, and you see them talking, and then suddenly someone comes out of another hovel nearby, and it looks like he's like yelling at the other three. He's a old, gangly, somewhat unusually large hobbit, and you see them fuss for a while, and then but you're too far away to hear what they're saying.
Okay, but we're out near the fields. We're not near the Golden Egg or anything. Okay. I will try and make a note of anybody for later, later identification. And okay. I guess they talk and then disperse.
The two poorly dressed hobbits that are younger are talking to an older hobbit who looks like an old man. And then the other person that comes out also looks old, except he's like very loud and gangly looking, thin and taller for a hobbit.
Okay.
And then they do disperse, in fact.
Well, I will try and keep a note of where. I'll try to see where Ned and Squints go, so I can report back to the group that we might want to follow up with them, since there seems to be something shady going on. But I won't. I'll just try and see where they go, but I won't confront them or anything about the rest.
Okay, you when you return to the Clumsy Fox, what is everybody else doing at the Clumsy Fox?
Revelry it up.
Back to playing.
All right. Yeah, everybody loves the music. Yeah, and now evening has set, and it's well into the night at this point. And people eventually start to leave the Clumsy Fox, including George and Knob.
Our friendly innkeeper Bentley still present.
Yeah,
Still wrapping up.
yeah. He's. You can see that he's kind of cleaning up.
Bentley, innkeep.
Oh, hello, good sir.
Tell me, who is the oldest hobbit in Brandonsford?
Oldest hobbit in Brandonsford. Well, I suppose it might be the Shire Reeve Eric. He's a good 120 years or so. Who else could be the oldest? I suppose perhaps old Bosco Galpsy over in the farms. He might be quite old, but I don't know how old. Why do you ask?
We need to know who would know the most about Brandon.
Ah, well, if you're interested in our local legends and lore, why, you would want to know about the Mathams. In fact, that lad that came by, Knob Boulderhill, he's the Matham apprentice to Matham Keeper William at the Matham House. That's where we keep all our records.
Thank you, Bentley. It's been an interesting experience. He's just... Talen's done. He's done partying for the night before he's just... Shit.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything else? Talk to anybody?
No, I think I'm good for the night.
All right.
Shaw just gets up and probably just goes to open the door to Brandon's house and helps himself to sleeping.
Yeah. Brandon's house kind of sucks because it's just like a stone floor, dirty stone floor in a chapel that's otherwise abandoned. Stained glass windows. The starlight beaming in from outside. So that's where we'll finish tonight. But just so I can prepare, what you all plan to do tomorrow initially? That is,
I guess
week.
head to the Matham house and
The Matham
see
house.
if we can rustle up some information on the sword.
So you're going to try to find the sword. That's the goal. Find the
Matham House.
sword.
I'd like to have a little interview with Ned and Squints at some point. And
Interview with Ned and Squints. Okay. Anything else? The sword is the goal? Not going to go try to get the wine from the Western Forest? The tree sap wine?
Of
tree
course,
sap?
no, I
So
mean,
we-
the sword is a much more distant goal. It's just like one guy said something.
yeah, we find out about the sword. At some point, we'll definitely want to get the sap. If we can have both before we, I'm not in a hurry to fight a dragon or anything.
Yeah,
But preparation is key.
For sure.
indeed. All right.